mob somebody in the suburbs. You know, that's not the norm. That's not what people want to do. When you live a life, you're trying to get out of the bad influence. So you're not gonna get nobody to even put. You're not gonna say like, oh, I'm about to go out here and make a song about robbing in the suburbs because that's where they live at or that's where you want to live at. You know.
Yeah. Right.
So I guess it's just something that they push out in the market. Like it's a high commodity, like violence, guns. You know, it's just not music. It's guns. You know, it's a lot that goes with just, you know, I guess what you want to say, killing and why certain people are saying racist.
And it's what sells. I mean, period. It's what sells.
I know, but it kind of disturbs me because when I think about it, it's like sex, drugs, and murder.
Right.
You know, well, I'm gonna forget making money.
Right.
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 Showing out a little bit, little bling in your outfit.
And then I feel like you got to think like where we come from, like not where we come from, but what like evolved in our and like the black people race. So you got like where we was, you know, from just I can take it back from what I know, you know, but I'm just gonna go from where like from when the baby boomers. All you got a lot of people that you know. What should I say? How should I put it? I should say like from my race, because I don't want to sound racial or just say white people, black people. I don't like doing that.
We feel you.
But
Absolutely.
Yeah, safe platform.
White people's fine.
We
totally
keeping it
safe.
real.
Yeah, I understand that. But if it's like a lot of people watching or you know, you gotta watch what you say. How you say it.
Yes.
But just on the black community, like I know like a lot of people in the black community, we come from like you know working in a this how I'm gonna say it. We came from like people telling us what we did or our culture. We ain't really like do our history on who we are. So we getting told, oh yeah, you know y'all killers or y'all done went to war, y'all done did this or that. So we so used to basically what we getting told and what we getting fed. We just doing it, and then we work hard. We trying to gain our our place back into on earth like what I guess what they said we sold ourselves to slavery. It can get deep into that situation, but just black people just trying to catch back up. So they doing so much, and then it comes with jealousy. It comes with rage. It comes with well he doing this or he doing that. Now it's not no unity in our culture. So you gonna have people doing certain stuff like and it's stuff that always been here. Like jewelry, watches, shoes, clothes, cars, this stuff been here.
Right, since the Exodus.
Yeah, so you got people like just now thinking like, oh, I'm about to wear this Gucci, or I'm about to wear this belt. You got stuff like that.
By any means necessary.
And they buying it and they want to buy it, but it's like you got to think about it. When you older, people done already did it. Black, white, Indian, Asian. But you got people like, oh, well, let me push this back out because it's not selling no more.
Right.
What's gonna sell? What people like? Okay, it's not about like just the music. It's the clothes you wear. Oh, they like this. They like to do that. Okay, well, we're gonna put this out here and
that's
sell that.
Right.
It's just people. They notice who buying it. They get it. They know. Okay, well, we selling these rock quartz and 100 people buying these. What type of people buying these? Black people. It ain't like they being racist. It's just like, okay, well, we finna start seeing with the black people. Like a lot of white people ain't buying it. They don't spend their money on dumb stuff. So that's where it comes from.
you flowing with some stuff. One of the things that I just want to point out is when you talked about really what you're saying is we don't really know ourselves. Like we haven't studied our history to really know who we are truly to the core. And so it makes me think about slavery because you also mentioned that, but it makes me think about when you were sold, whichever plantation you happened to be sold to, the master, his name became your name. And then if he sold you again, then your name changed again, and now your name changed again. So by the time we keep moving through the system, generation after generation, we're actually lost somewhere, way back there, somewhere. So you said some powerful stuff. That's for a whole nother show.
And
come on here.
To go in what he was saying, and he capsulized everything. The reason it is first of all, it's a market. It's a market out there. Secondly is there's a reason. And the reason is to keep us not knowing who we are. Because it's put out there, and these movies are put out there because they keep the savage imagery. And we were talking before we came online that if you watch an old white gangster movie, they're glamorized.
People got the posters.
Yes. They are seen as heroes.
Yes.
But when you look at it, when they do a black movie, They don't let them, expand. They just keep them in a box. But also, what he's saying too is it's a lifestyle. It has become a lifestyle. He said it. It starts in the music, then it goes with the clothes. It's a lifestyle now. So,
but why did we accept it? Why did we accept it?
So that's what I feel. That's what we were sold. So like you go back to the racism, like you said, that's another situation. But once you so passed around and you lost, you don't know nothing. So all a person can do is just tell you like, oh, well, go pick up that penny. You're gonna pick it up, and you think you're rich, but it's just a penny.
Right.
So that person got more knowledge than you. It's really like you got to give that knowledge. So we just got to go and read it, find out who we are.
Something that I picked out of what you said is something that we bring up in almost every single topic that we talk about, and is unity. You said there isn't any unity in our culture. So I just want to dig a little bit with that, because that affects so much. So in your opinion, why is there a lack of unity?
Probably just like I said, to go back to just what we would, like I said, so just, if you got something, you want to keep it, and you want to gain, you want to have just your family or whoever you got in your circle have and gain. You don't want to really just put that out there for everybody to gain. And it could be any knowledge, it could be how you got into school or how you fix your car. Just somebody like, oh, I don't want to tell them that because they gonna have their car fixed. Like, why don't you want everybody?
Right, because then you would have to expand your circle.
Yeah.
But one thing that really was interesting to me, when he was talking about white people don't do this, maybe there's not a market for it, but so this is true talk. I have been driving, and I've had many times a car pull up next to me, and they bumping something and profanity and cussing and gang banging, and it's blacker than black, and the person driving the car is white or Asian.
Right.
And I'm saying, okay.
Right.
And so maybe there is a market.
90% of the music I listen to is like that, because that's where the beats are. That's right. So I'm probably that person that you're going to go next to.
Yeah, you do. You know all the lyrics.
And I always have. I absolutely always have. That's always been the kind of music that I like. And I have a lot of white friends that are on, in that same boat. But that's 90% of the music I listen to.
Well, Kroger's too.
Comes from black artists. I mean,
when I start watching commercials, it seems like everything's just black. Okay, that's another story too.
But I had a question for our two guests, and Mark Quinn hit on it, and I want to hear from J. Michael perspective. We as black men, why do we see each other as enemies or adversaries before we see them as equals or helps? Did we lose y'all?
Okay, they thinking.
I like to talk. I just feel like on that type of situation, on that, I hope he can go next. On that situation, it's just like from my growth, from my age of growing up and seeing, like I was saying, like in the black people, you don't want to see nobody else eating. You don't want to see nobody get more money than you or doing better than you. So that's what our problem is. That's all boiled down to it. I don't know how else to say it.
You said it. That's what
that's true.
That's exactly what we talked about
last night.
And J. Michael, you're a little bit more mature in age with him. I mean, what's your perspective?
It's just growth. The thing is with the hood and people being who they are, for one, we in competition with each other. Two, we are programmed. Because when you got the white people out here programming us to be against each other, what we gonna do? We gonna be against each other. And as for the music, it's entertainment. That comes from self. You don't have to let that music make you become who that person is. Right. Just like when they say, oh, Tupac made me do it. Tupac didn't come and put a gun to your head and say, go kill that man. Right. You did it because you wanted to. Exactly. That's just like movies. They kill in movies. So you got The Matrix. You got the gangster movies. You don't never hear nobody say the movie made me do it.
Right.
They always say the music made me do it. Because it's not the lyrics, it's the beat. The beat is what make you hype.
Right.
Because when you listen to a beat, when you listen to a song, you listen to the beat before you listen to the lyrics.
Right.
I'm an entertainer, so I know about rap. It's just entertainment. Half them dudes that's rapping ain't even been in the hood.
Right, you say that.
So it's just entertainment. That is so when they talk about rap, what about rock and roll? satanic.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yes.
what's the difference between rap music and white people music?
Yeah.
See, the difference between white people music and black people music is because they want to assassinate us. They don't want to assassinate them because they want to be the dominant race on the planet. That's all. That's what it boils down to.
It really
But-
comes.
So
Okay.
it ain't about black this, black that, white this, white that. It's the whites want to be the dominant.
Okay, but J. Mike, so I feel where you're going with that. But so listen to this question. What about the narrative that black men are pumping out for the younger black men to receive? And that's now what they're vibing to at 7 and 8 years old. I'm saying, don't we owe it to the younger people?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
We-
can I,
So where that lead from? That comes from home, right?
Yes.
So if you let your son or your child or your daughter listen to that music,
Oh, I don't
that-
though, but
I'm
they go
just
to
saying.
school and they
But
listen to
okay,
it.
then that's you can't control what your child doing in your presence, right?
Right.
Yes.
So when your child is in your presence, that's what they do. They see what they see in the street. You can't control that. But what you control is your home. You control your household. That's what you control. So if they listening to music, it's just entertainment. That's what you're supposed to tell your child. It's entertainment. It's just like a movie. It's entertainment.
Right.
So if you choose to let that entertainment sucks you in and grab you, and you think you Superman, think you the Hulk, or think this and that becomes you. You that person.
Right.
You can't let stuff suck you in. That's just like me. I'm a street dude. Been a street dude all my life. But it didn't suck me in. I was brought that way. I was taught that.
Tell us.
I gotta.
Okay.
Before you go into that, and I want to ask both of you because, as you were saying, J. Michael, it's about the entertainment, and you gotta separate the reality from what the people are saying. But here's a problem that I have seen, and it persists in our community a lot more, and I'm sure you've seen it before too. And as Mark Clan said, how you teach people. But here's a problem that I have seen many a time. As you said, you're a street dude, and that's what you were taught. I've seen a lot of times we'll teach our younger men how to hustle the wrong way before we teach them how to do something right. If I'm a pimp, my son gonna be a pimp. If I'm a drug dealer, my son gonna be a drug dealer. Sometimes we continue that cycle by directly or indirectly.
But you
because
heard what
we
you
think
said.
that's what we're doing right.
You heard what you said. It comes from home.
It come from home. It's all what you know. Everything we talk
See,
about is
it
all
comes from
boiled down to
home.
the same thing. It come from what your parents teach you, with the music, anything you do. If you listen, your mama listen to E4, you gonna grow up listening to E4. You know, your daddy listening to Bang Bang Shoot 'em Up, you gonna do that. It come from all the way back then to where
You have to be strong.
you gotta break the cycle. Yeah, you gotta break the
will.
cycle. So like, if you listening to that type of music for one, you know you shouldn't even be doing that. You know you're not no killer. You're not finna go do nothing like that. Why you usually letting this type of music hype you up, do that? So me personally, I listen to chill music. You know, I ride around, I listen to chill music. You know, music stuff that I do. You know, in life, I don't ride around and listen to different stuff. And when you do that, that can turn you into somebody different. You know, and like I said, I go back into the market. That's what they put out. That's what they know. That's what they know what we gonna do. Oh, we gonna listen to this. Or we gonna get hype. We gonna ride around and do what they say they doing because we want the same fame that they got. You know, that's all you want. You want to get the chain, and the watch, and the clothes, and the shoes. That's all it is. So people gonna do what the rappers doing. But like he just said, a producer, the rappers not doing that. They getting a $500,000 check. What they call them? They signing deals. We can't sign no deal for $500,000 in the hood. But we trying to. So you gonna have to. Yeah, it's what we learned. It's what you know. But like you said, you gotta break the cycle.
But even with breaking that cycle, think about it. I mean, let's move a little bit out of the entertainment and into the reality. I mean, seriously, if drugs, that's one of the most detrimental things that have hit our community in decades. But we all, when we're selling drugs, or we're in that lifestyle. And I want to ask another question when I finish, but we'll teach our young ones how to get on. You know, I mean, how do we break that cycle first of all?
I mean, that's not all the way true. The young person, you know, a parent gonna try to stop their kids from doing anything that they did or what they think is wrong. A kid's gonna be curious, you know, just like you was when you was a kid. So you're gonna either learn it, but it's another side if you do tell your kid, you know, oh, well, this, that, and the third. It's like, I feel like you're trying to game. You're not trying to do like You're not trying to mess nothing up. This is all you know. You can't do nothing else. You can't. You know what I mean? You can't teach nothing else. So that goes all back into, back to the slavery part. It's what they know. It's what you hypnotize. So what I feel about the breaking, but like to answer your question, I feel like if it wasn't set up for us to have to live the way we live, it wouldn't even be like that. It wouldn't be no hustling or putting your kids on or putting your little homies on or however you want to put it. It wouldn't be like that. It's just the way we gotta live. We gotta live certain ways. We try to do a 9 to 5, but that don't help all the time. So at the end of the day, I wouldn't say that people try to do this or they want to do this or they doing it for a specific reason. It's just that sometimes that's how people gotta live, which is not right. I'm not saying it's right, but you know.
You bring me into my next question that I had for you anyways, because you're getting ready to be a father, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of crime in communities is often traced back to the absence of the father in the home.
Oh, yeah.
Do you, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that the father being out of the home due to the system, due to the way things are set up, because we know that's very intentional. So tell me a little bit about your thoughts on the father being out of the home.
My thought is if your dad gone, that do play a big role in your life. As a boy, a young man. I don't know about the girls. I'm not a girl, but it'll play a big role in your life. Because you're missing that father figure, that role model. That even if your dad doing whatever he doing, he could be teaching you something right. You don't know what he doing, even if somebody tell you. So if he trying to teach you something right, I feel like, man, it's crazy because it get deep the way I be thinking, but. I feel like, man.
Hey, speak your mind.
You gotta tell me the question again because I just start thinking so much.
Do you think? Let me ask you this: what was your father in the home? I know we talked a little bit earlier, and you said that he had went away.
Yeah,
he was locked up.
My dad. Okay, so that's where I be getting stuck because I don't be knowing how to, tell you I don't like to do a lot of talking.
Absolutely.
But my dad was gone, but I still love my dad. He had got locked up or whatever, and I still love him. But it did play a role in my life, like to where I felt like, he could have taught me different stuff that kept me from doing curious things.
Right. Right.
So, but I mean, it will affect kids or young men because some kids be so detached, like, oh, I don't love my dad, I don't like my dad, but not understanding like your dad could have did something, to go to jail for you,
Right.
Or he wasn't trying to do, you know what I mean? But you don't know that you're young, so you're like, oh, my dad ain't here and I'm going through hell. Where my dad at, so it could affect it. That do play a big role. But me, I don't know. My dad, he's strong, so I love my dad the whole time. He came home, it was like he never left, so.
Right.
That is so beautiful. And so right there, that's a good place for you to speak to any young person or even a parent, father, mother, etc. Speak right there to how they can help a child that might be in your position, the way you were then. What made you keep loving your father in spite of, no matter what? So speak.
My dad, I don't know. I always was a different type of person, but my dad, he always, like, you can feel the love. Like, even in one of the phone calls, you can feel the love. And my mom always told me, like, nice stories about my dad, taking care of me and doing a lot. So that's what gave me the drive. Like, my dad, he loved me, shoot. I can't fault him for what he do. That's his life, All I could do was be there for him. So that's why I still love my dad. Then when he came home, he got a job, he what's up, son? Dang. But my mom, though, she went and, like, took me to see my dad, too. So that helped, too. She went and I went to go see my dad a lot. So it wasn't kind of like I was away from him. We still had a bond and we still talked. And he called home. He'd whoop me on the phone, type of stuff when I get in trouble.
And that matters, and what you just said right there, really, parents, mothers need to really listen to that, because too many times the woman will talk negative about that,
Oh,
that
for
father,
sure.
and definitely you're not going to see that bum, so it depends on how they handle that. So that's a good point. So good for you.
Now, as well with that, J. Michael, you're doing motivational speaking right now. What would you tell the next generation? I know you have children as well. What would you tell your children, or even a group of children or young people that will be able to not go down some of the paths that you may have went down?
The thing with choosing a path, a child what path not to go down. Because I can tell a child a million times, don't do this, don't do that. But like my bro said, a child gonna be curious. Because that's just life. You know, I'm a true gangster, but I never smoked weed, never drank, never in my life. Because that's what I chose not to do. So to tell kids out there, oh, don't do this, don't do that, that's just a waste of time because, oh, you telling me what not to do, I'm going to do it anyway because I'm curious. So that's a question you really can't ask because a kid, you got rich kids that was born rich, why they choose to crime, why they kill people, why they do drugs.
That's true.
We don't have no answer for that.
Right, right. Have you, you mentioned, and as Clarence said, you are a motivational speaker. How long ago did that start, and was there something that happened in your life that led you to want to speak to other people, to be that person to motivate?
I always wanted to talk to people, but I just chose to. I
Right.
love the streets more than talking to people. So that's what that was. But this last time getting shot, God was like, sit your butt down, or I'm going to sit you down.
Right.
So that's what happened with that.
Wow.
You now listen. You just mentioned that, and that was one of my questions. I just wanted to know. We can't take for granted everybody know your story, and I know we don't have time to really get heavy into it. But if we can, since we're talking about black on black crime, can you speak to the black on black crime in Fort Wayne, Indiana? Just from that perspective of what happened to you in your life.
See, when you talk about black on black crime, it's respect. Because these youngsters don't have respect for the old school stuff. So if the youngsters had respect for our older generation, it would slow the black on black crime down. But when you don't have no respect, and you don't have respect at home, you don't have respect for yourself. So the black on black crime is just gonna stay until we grab hold to it, and it's gonna be hard to grab hold to it when people trying to make money.
Yeah, that's the truth though, because I'm young and he older, so like I'll be around a lot of younger dudes. Not trying to like say nothing, but you ain't trying to respect them because you're trying to be better than them or bigger than them. So you ain't finna listen to them. You got some that'll listen, and but you 9 times out of 10, young people not trying to listen to older people like say nothing.
Y'all say we go back to the music, we go back to the black on black crime. They promote it because that's what they want. They have control over the media. So if they want to stop this gangster rap from being aired on TV and music videos, they can stop it. But they want it to be out here. That's what they want. But it's up to that individual to be strong-minded and be strong-willed, not to fall into that trap.
Right.
And that's all I wanted to say. I was being quiet, but I did want to say that it all is really evaluate down to you. Like me, what I had to find out about myself, like no matter what my mom and dad did or who they are, I ain't them. I can't be them. I can't, I gotta be myself. So if I'm listening to music because I was around my cousin or I was around somebody I know, I can't let that suck me in. Like you said, I can't let that suck me in because now I'm being like them and they not even being they self. They being like them and they not being like they self. So you gotta catch and hold, take grab of yourself, figure out who you are. See what you want to do, see what you like, and then go from there. But when you start trying to be somebody you're not, that's when life and everything go wrong. Everything get different for every race, for everybody. And like you said, it's the market. That's what they putting out there. They know that. They see.
And then our people is stuck on this slavery.
Yeah, that guy.
See, slavery then came and gone. That's done. Let that be in the past. Dr. Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Harriet Tubmans, they did their job. They did what they were supposed to do for us. So now it's time for new leaders to step up.
In their place.
But what they do, they always talk about the Dr. Kings because they don't want you to see the new leaders.
They putting up
So they keep you in the past because they don't want you to see the future. So if they keep you in the past and keep that slavery
mindset going on.
See, just like I told one of my brothers, the N-word don't bother me. For what? It's a word. If our
saying it.
Right.
But when you keep letting it bother you, they gonna keep saying it. So if you, oh, you a nigga this, you a nigga, let it go.
It don't matter. It's a word.
See, me, I'm gonna speak my mind because that's who J. Michael is. I don't bite my tongue for nobody. You see, if they stop letting words bother them, it's just what it is. And just like I told somebody, when you call me the N-word, you must be that N-word because it ain't nothing but the N-word. We as people have to stop living in the slavery days. We're not slaves.
Right.
We're not picking cotton. We're not out here getting hit with the chain. Now, we might be getting brutality by the police and all that, but this has been going on for years. It's just the social media making them get caught now. That's all it is.
But Jay, why we gotta throw away our true history? Why?
But it ain't-
But I'm just saying, you talking about the, like the Dr. Kings or whoever, Harriet Tubman. Why do we have to forget the greatness that happened in the past? We don't need to.
We
We
know,
don't
but you
have
see-
to
but you see-
forget that in order to be great today.
But you see what I'm saying? See, we not forgetting them. You see what I'm saying? But if you keep putting them on the forefront and not being the new Dr. Kings, being the new Harriet
Now,
Tubman,
I'm down with that. We looking for them.
I'm not saying forget our history because we can never forget our history because our history has got us where we at.
All right, that's what I want to acknowledge. So I'm agreeing with you on the point that we need our leaders, and that's what I was talking about last night. Where are they? Where are the black leaders?
Right,
and
right.
the
They're
black
not gonna.
scholars?
They gonna get somebody that's a black
Okay,
leader.
let's take Farrakhan.
and make them rap. And
Let's
then
take
they gonna rap
Farrakhan.
about drugs and money.
Right.
Guns.
Let's
That's
take
the-
Farrakhan. Who is Farrakhan? He's the Muslim man. You see what I'm saying? What do white people tell him?
Man, it's crazy. Cause it get deep the way I be thinking, but I feel like, man, woo.
Hey, speak your mind.
You gotta tell me the question again because I just start thinking so much.
Do you
like,
think? Let me ask you this: Was your what was your father in the home? I know we talked a little bit earlier, and you said that he had went away. He
Yeah,
was locked up.
my dad. Okay, so that's where I be getting stuck. Cause I don't be knowing how to, tell you, I don't like to do a lot of talking.
Absolutely.
But my dad was gone, but I still love my dad. He had got locked up or whatever, and I still love him. But it did play a role in my life, like to where I felt like, he could have taught me different stuff that kept me from doing curious things.
Right.
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 So, but I mean, it will affect kids or young men because some kids be so detached, like, oh, I don't love my dad, I don't like my dad, but not understanding like your dad could have did something, to go to jail for you,
Right.
But, or he wasn't trying to do, you know what I mean? But you don't know that you're young, so you like, oh, my dad ain't here and I'm going through hell. Where my dad at, so it could affect it. That do play a big role. But me, I don't know. My dad, he's strong, so I love my dad the whole time. And he came home, it was like he never left, so.
Right. That is so beautiful. And so right there, that's a good place for you to speak to any young person or even a parent, father, mother, etc. Speak right there to how they can help a child that might be in your position, the way you were then. What made you keep loving your father in spite of, no matter what? So speak.
My dad, I don't know. I don't know, I always was a different type of person, but my dad, he always, like, you can feel the love. Like, even in one of the phone calls, you can feel the love. And my mom always told me, like, nice stories about my dad, taking care of me and doing a lot. So that's what gave me the drive. Like, my dad, he loved me, shoot. I can't fault him for what he do, that's his life, All I could do was be there for him. So that's why I still love my dad. Then when he came home, he got a job, he, what's up, son? Dang. But my mom, though, she went and, like, took me to see my dad, too. So that helped, too. She went and see, like, I went to go see my dad a lot. So it wasn't kind of like I was away from him. We still had a bond and we still talked. And
Yes.
he called home. He'd whoop me on the phone, type of stuff when I get in trouble.
And that matters, and what you just said right there, really, parents, mothers need to really listen to that, because too many times the woman will talk
Give up.
negative about that,
Oh,
that
for
father,
sure.
and definitely you're not going to see that bum, so it depends on how they handle that. So that's a good point. So good for you.
Now, as well with that, J. Michael, you're doing motivational speaking right now. What would you tell the next generation, I know you have children as well. What would you tell your children, or even a group of children or young people that will be able to not go down some of the paths that you may have went down?
The thing with choosing a path, you really can't tell a child what path not to go down. Because I can tell a child a million times, don't do this, don't do that. But like my bro said, a child will be curious. Because that's just life. You know, I'm a true gangster, but I never smoked weed, never drank ever in my life. Because that's what I chose not to do. So to tell kids out there, oh, don't do this, don't do that, that's just a waste of time. Because, oh, you telling me what not to do, I'm going to do it anyway because I'm curious. So that's a question you really can't ask, because a kid, you got rich kids that was born rich. Why they choose to crime? Why they kill people? Why they do drugs?
That's true.
We don't have no answer for that.
Right, right. Have you, you mentioned, and as Clarence said, you are a motivational speaker. How long ago did that start, and was there something that happened in your life that led you to want to speak to other people, to be, to be that person to motivate?
I always wanted to talk to people, but I just chose to. I
Right.
love the streets more than talking to people. So that's what that was. But this last time getting shot, God was like, sit your butt down, or I'm going to sit you down.
Right.
So that's what happened with that.
Wow.
You now listen. You just mentioned that, and that was one of my questions. I just wanted to know. We can't take for granted everybody know your story, and I know we don't have time to really get heavy into it. But if we can, since we're talking about black on black crime, can you speak to the black on black crime in Fort Wayne, Indiana? Just from that perspective of what happened to you in your life.
See, when you talk about black on black crime, it's respect. Because these youngsters don't have respect for the old school stuff. So if the youngsters had respect for our older generation, it would slow the black on black crime down. But when you don't have no respect, and you don't have respect at home, you don't have respect for yourself. So the black on black crime is just going to stay until we grab hold to it. And it's going to be hard to grab hold to it when people trying to make money.
Yeah, that's the truth though, because I'm young and he older, so like I'll be around a lot of younger dudes. Not trying to like say nothing, but you ain't trying to respect them because you trying to be better than them, but bigger than them. So you ain't finna listen to them. You got some that'll listen, but you 9 times out of 10, you're not young people. You're not trying to listen to older people. Like say something.
Y'all say, we go back to the music. We go back to the black and
Oh,
white.
wait a minute. That's right, because he almost got attacked by Sky.
They promote it because that's
So
what
that
they
was.
want. They have control over the media. So if they want to stop this gangster rap from being aired on TV and music videos, they can stop it. But they want it to be out here. That's what they want. But it's up to that individual to be strong-minded and be strong-willed not to fall into that trap.
Right.
And that's all I wanted to say. I was being quiet, but I did want to say that it all is really evaluate down to you. Like me, what I had to find out about myself, like no matter what my mom and dad did or who they are, I ain't them. I can't be them. I can't, I gotta be myself. So if I'm listening to music because I was around my cousin or I was around somebody I know, I can't let that suck me in. Like you said, I can't let that suck me in because now I'm being like them and they not even being they self. They being like them and they not being like they self. So you gotta catch and hold, take grab of yourself, figure out who you are. See what you want to do, see what you like, and then go from there. But when you start trying to be somebody you're not, that's when life and everything go wrong. Everything get different for every race, for everybody. And like you said, it's the market. That's what they putting out there. They know that. They see it.
And then our people is stuck on this slavery.
Yeah, that guy.
See, slavery then came and gone. That's done. Let that be in the past. Dr. Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Harriet Tubmans, they did their job. They did what they were supposed to do for us. So now it's time for new leaders to step up.
In their place.
But what they do, they always talk about the Dr. Kings because they don't want you to see
They
the
don't
new
want to put up
leaders.
the new leaders. They putting up the
So they
rappers.
keep you in the past because they don't want you to see the future. So if they keep you in the past and keep that slavery
Mindset going on.
see, just like I told one of my brothers, the N-word don't bother me. For what? It's a word. If our people stop letting the N-word bother them, then they gonna stop saying it.
Right.
But when you keep letting it bother you, they gonna keep saying it. So if you a nigger this, you a nigger, let it go.
It don't matter. It's a word.
See me, I'm gonna speak my mind because that's what J. Michael is. I don't bite my tongue for nobody. You see, if they stop letting words bother them, it's just what it is. And just like I told somebody, when you call me the N-word, you must be that N-word because it ain't nothing but the N-word. We as people have to stop living in the slavery days. We're not slaves.
Right.
We're not picking cotton. We're not out here getting hit with the chain. Now, we might be getting brutality by the police and all that, but this has been going on for years. It's just the social media making them get caught now. That's all it is.
But Jay, why we gotta throw away our true history? Why?
It ain't.
But I'm just saying, you talking about the, like the Dr. Kings or whoever, Harriet Tubman. Why do we have to forget the greatness that happened in the past? We don't need to. We don't have to forget that in order to be great today.
But you see what I'm saying? See, we not forgetting them. You see what I'm saying? But if you keep putting them on the forefront and not being the new Dr. Kings, being the new Harriet Tubmans.
I'm down with that. We looking for them.
I'm not saying forget our history because we can never forget our history because our history has got us where we at.
All right, that's what I wanted to acknowledge. So I'm agreeing with you on the point that we need our leaders, and that's what I was talking about last night. Where are they? Where are the black leaders?
Right,
and
right.
Black scholars?
They gonna get somebody that's a black leader.
Let's take Farrakhan.
and make them rap. And
Let's
then
take
they gonna rap
Farrakhan.
about drugs and money.
Right.
Guns.
Let's
That's
take
the-
Farrakhan. Who is Farrakhan? He's the Muslim man. You see what I'm saying? What do white people tell him? Because if you, all the OGs know, back in our days with the Mike Browns, the Trayvon Martins, the Muslims would have been out there deep. But then white folks told Farrakhan, you better not bring your butt out. You can talk all the mess you want behind that podium and on that TV. But if we see you out here, we going to stop your money flow. It's all about money. Because if you was a true Muslim, it ain't about money. You're going to be for your people. See what I'm saying?
Okay. So Jay, I know, and we can talk. I mean, I'm just telling you, because there's so much and so many
it's so
questions
deep,
we have for you guys.
No.
But this is one question, because I know we got to wrap it up. We got to get out of here. They telling us I'm getting all kind of signals and everything. But listen, I got this question. Do black men, I'm going a different direction real quick. Do black men encourage each other? Because I just don't get to see it. In my family, I hear, but I'm talking about you going through something and all the other stuff that's going on the streets and this hood, that hood. Do black men actually encourage each other to do better, to be
Real
better?
black men do.
Yeah, because a lot of black people defensive, young people.
That's just like white people. You see a white person, hey buddy, how you doing? You see what I'm saying? Now a black person, you say, what's up, man? What's up? What's happening?
Is that
they
the
think it's beef.
encouragement?
Yeah,
They think it's beef.
like, what's good? You
Because
like, what you mean?
we always angry. We angry for no reason.
But we gotta.
My bad.
Okay, so you just said that. Now y'all speak on that, because that's one of the stereotypes that they put on us, that we're angry, not just angry men, but angry black women too. So tell me about that. And how do we get this off of us?
I don't know, because no disrespect to my woman, but you could be like, hey, beautiful, you look good. She keep on going. You like, oh, man. I mean, you could have just was like, dang, you ain't had to, I don't know. I personally don't know what it is. Then you could, for a dude, you like, what's up, bro?
Because they're not comfortable.
What's up? Like, I don't know what it is, but I just try to stay loved up. That's my word.
Right.
Yeah,
Now,
that's the way to be. But
Yeah.
and with that, and we all understand, I think you said it a little earlier, Mark Quinn, when you were talking, and sometimes it's just what a person has.
Put
but not what
your hand in the way.
Like,
Put your hand in the way.
That ain't
that person
romantic
that got on that Gucci
anymore.
outfit, we have these perceptions because we're taught that, oh, he got on that Gucci, so he think he better than you.
Yeah.
but I don't know
So
who taught us this.
I don't either.
We're programmed like that.
I think it's in the music, or It's in like what they
Right,
put out in the music or the movies. You
But,
know?
right, we got to move out of that. We have a few comments, so let's turn to some comments. This is Neutral Voices, the voice of the people, and we're having good conversation with some great people here tonight for the voice of the people. And here's a comment from Pastor Curry. Is there any accountability for the person who speaks the words? Do words have meaning and impact the lives of those who hear your words, especially as a motivational speaker? Is there any accountability for the person who speaks the word? Are we holding people accountable for what they say? What do you guys think?
Once again, it's all about self. You can talk to a person to you
Turn
in
blue.
the
I was just
face.
gonna say that till you turn blue.
It's all about that individual willing to change. You see, if that person's not willing to change, that person's not going to change. Because what's the first thing the hood dudes say? I'm loyal to the hood. I'm not going to change. This is me. Because they think the hood is where they're supposed to be.
See, oh my
trying
goodness,
to go
right.
see
So
the point.
So one of my questions that kind of flow with what you just said, J. Mike, is I was saying, is there remorse in the hood? I mean, because people commit crimes.
Yes, it is remorse in the hood.
The remorse come from when they kill somebody or do something, they go to their bottom or they go to their nose. That's their remorse. That's how they kill their demon.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a whole
That's
other
why I
problem.
like the big homie, because he kept real.
Yeah, you kept it real, and that's another problem with our community. You know, we don't deal with things externally. We go to these substances and we do things like that. We don't actually heal in our community.
And so before we get out of here, I just want to, because we got another comment, but real quick, I want to put this thought in your mind. Last night, you know, E was here and he mentioned about snitching in the hood and how does that work? What do you guys think as far as snitching in?
I'll answer that one because I'm going through that now.
Okay, so say that again.
We got to put that in perspective.
Wait, I was going to say, I didn't catch what
He
he
said
said.
you're going through that
He's
now.
going through it right now.
Go ahead, speak on that.
Snitching? You snitching or somebody snitching?
You got a reputation. They expect you to keep that reputation because I'm a known street dude. But now that I try to do something right and do it the law-abiding citizen way, now I'm a snitch. And see, that's what people get it wrong at. Snitching is, if me and you doing a crime, I get caught and I tell them, that's snitching. But if somebody kill your loved one or hurt your loved one, that's not snitching. You're doing the right thing because you stopping that person from grieving.
Right.
Because if a lot of people stop trying to have this hood code and be like, oh, I'm not telling because I seen it. Okay, but you're not telling. But then soon somebody kill your mama or kill your daughter, now you want them to tell.
Right.
That same person, that same person's son or daughter got killed. You didn't say nothing, but now something hit home. Now you want them. Why you ain't saying nothing?
Yes.
But you didn't say nothing. See, it's the difference when you try to do right when it don't hit home. That's just like one of the pastors. His son got killed in the club. But everybody was getting killed in the club. He wasn't doing nothing. But as soon as your son get killed, you go protest and shut the club down.
Wow.
So snitching, it is
Different levels.
right.
Different levels to life.
So you just broke that down from two different perspectives.
Right,
Yes,
absolutely.
I hadn't thought about.
That was
So that was good. Another thing. Okay, let's do this comment, and then I have another question. It's a protective mechanism. T. White says we are taught to show the hard side first until you break that wall down.
You said taught? That ain't taught. It might not even be taught, no, because I went to school. Like, you don't be taught that. You might be the coolest cat, lovable, and get beat up from 6th grade to 9th grade. No, that's something you just probably get in, you like, I ain't finna keep
They
getting.
said it's a protective mechanism.
Okay.
Nah,
A lot of people
it ain't no protective mechanism. Now, protecting your family, that's just instinct.
Right.
You know, but when you get bullied and you get bullied and you get bullied
Keep saying
and you get in a position to where you can bully,
You
Okay.
now your head get big.
Right. Okay. Now you on my next point about bullying. So thank you for going down that road. So have you ever been bullied?
No, I bully.
I'm just
But see,
saying.
I bullied the bullies.
I did. I got bullied.
Okay, that's.
But my dad got a lot of kids. So it was fucking brothers and sisters. It wasn't nobody on the streets or nothing like that.
Okay.
I wasn't one of the fortunate ones in school, so I was always dirty, but I bullied the bullies.
That's what I did.
You know, so if you bullied the weak, I'm gonna beat you down real bad.
Yeah, that's what I
You
was
was the
on.
bully protector.
Right.
You was kind of like the protector.
You were the bully advocate. I can
Right.
remember that.
That's it.
I used to be happy for like beating up the bullies. Like, yeah, Mr. Coker. Yeah, well, look, he was bullying him, and I go home. I just tell my dad. So yeah, I was
You know,
like that.
and people that bully, it mostly come from home. Either they getting bullied at home, or they was getting bullied by their brothers and sisters,
Right.
or they getting abused.
Right. Something is happening.
Like I said, I was getting bullied by my brothers and sisters. That ain't make me like go crazy. That just made me like, if somebody say something crazy, boop, 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 boop.
So it show their power.
Right. So yeah. Okay. That's good. I'm glad you guys talked about that. And then this is I believe this is my last point. Jill, a video and a concern that she had, and I thought it was pretty tight last night. We watched it. And you guys know there's protests everywhere. Protests when the guys in blue do something wrong or kill a black person. But where's the protest when black people are killing each other?
Oh, you know they not going. I don't think it's gonna be no protest because they like, oh well, we don't care. We want them to keep going and killing each other.
But within the community.
Why are we
Why are
Because some people be scared though. You gotta think. You got people that like kill people for real, like. And you might have seen them kill that person. You're not trying to go and be like, hey, I'm about to go protest and say, hey, stop killing people and look the dude that you just seen kill somebody. Nah, you not trying to get killed. So you gonna sit down. Life ain't just. It's not all about TV. Life real for real. So you
In my
not.
opinion, protesting is just fake.
Yeah, you ain't gonna go and stop and trying to go take it to the Supreme.
Half them people out there be protesting probably got pistols on them.
Yeah.
So it's just publicity to me. It's just fake. Because if you're gonna protest, don't protest at the courthouse. Protest in the hood.
In the hood, that's yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's just fake to me.
Amen. We have a comment from Phil. Phil says, I don't agree with everything the young man is saying. I do admire him because he's thinking on a great wavelength. The youth is going places and has the potential to be greater than he already is. I salute you, bro.
He probably don't understand because he ain't been in my shoes or he ain't been in, my situation. So I understand where he might not understand, but
Right.
so I ain't.
And I respect that, and I love that understanding that you
Good
have.
attitude.
That's a great attitude.
Yeah,
And just because you don't say words that people want to hear or the way, but be you. And I fully embrace and heard everything you said. You're a very well-spoken young man. So don't let anybody change you or But we do understand, and you do have a greater understanding that maybe the words are not what people want to hear, but what you're saying is the truth, and it fits everything that we're talking about.
Right, and it doesn't matter if people agree, because I can tell you right now, things that both of you had said back in the room have touched people out there, regardless of their situation, whether they're coming up being a new father, listening to your story, whether they're talking about, getting out of the streets. So many things that you've said tonight have reached people.
That's right, and the main thing is keeping it real. I mean, that's what it's about. People need to hear real beings speak.
Right.
For fathers out there, the gangbangers, y'all gotta quit teaching the youth when they 1 and 2 throwing up the gang signs, putting their pistols in their hands, and videotaping it and putting it on YouTube.
That's terrible to
TikTok,
see. That's terrible
and
to see.
showing them that this is cool. And then the parents out there, y'all gotta stop when y'all child cussing, laughing, thinking it's funny and cute. And when they get older, now it's a problem. But y'all glorified it when they was young.
Yep.
So it starts from the home again.
That's right.
And then another thing the youth have to do is put these phones down. They think these phones is their lifeline. They don't even pay attention to the world because their head is 90% down.
Yes.
So they missing what's really going on around them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And parents need to do that. And a lot of these parents don't care because the video games is babysitters now.
Absolutely.
Because they know their child is in there playing the game, so I don't have to watch my child. Or I know my child is on the phone, so I don't have to watch my child.
Yes.
So that's babysitters now. So parents have the time ain't being parents no more because they have the time clubbing, or they have the time on the phone talking, or they have the time in there with their man because they don't want to babysit. Oh, he's cool, he's playing the game.
Right, right. And when you don't teach your child, they're going to learn from someone else, whether it be society or someone on the street.
Right.
You know,
That's right.
that becomes a substitute for a parent real
That's
quickly.
right. The Bloods, the Crips, and
I
whoever.
think
Somebody gonna be the leader.
My last thing I want to say for like the parents or the young men or anybody that's going to be a parent, like, if you want to like have a good life for your kid, if you man or a woman just don't do what you felt hurted you when you was growing up.
Right,
You know what
right,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Don't do what you experienced. Don't put your kid through that. So if that takes you to go get a 9 to 5 or whatever you got to do, go do it. So it's like what everything we've been talking about today, it's up to you. Whoever you is, whoever watching, it's up to you. You know, you got to break the cycle.
Right,
Even if it's
that's
the day you
good.
take your kids in the room, hey, it's time to go down and pray again. You know, everybody got to get to laying at the bed and praying. This is what you got to do. You got to break the cycle. It's all
That's
up to
good.
us.
I'm glad you said that. That leads into our next question for you. This is our last question. What are your plans? So each of you, what's next for you?
Me, my plans, I'm gonna have a son. So, my plans is just being a good dad. Then, you know, I'll be around my dad still all the time, like
Nice.
just soaking up game, and then I'll be around my mom. So my plans is to like, I guess, have my son, then go back to school, and then do what I'm supposed to do, you know, and then
Right.
like stay at working 9 to 5
Yes.
until I can get enough money to own my own business.
Amen.
Nice. That
It's gonna
sounds
happen for
good.
you.
That's what I want.
You already focused. It's already in the plan. You
That's
got the
good.
plan. It's gonna
That's
happen.
good. So J. Mike, I know you got a lot going on. What's the plans for you? What's coming up?
My plans is to show people that you get sucked up by the hood, but you still can make it out.
Absolutely.
Because I should have died in that store. But God said it wasn't your time. God said it's time to go out here and speak my word and speak it boldly.
Right.
So if people can see a real live gangster change, then they can change. I might not change them all, but I can change some.
Right.
That's
You know?
good.
So that's what I want to do is go out here and talk to the youth, talk to the college kids, talk to people my age, because you still have people my age that still think they titty boppers. You know, so I want them to know that if J. Michael can change, and as y'all know who J-Lo is, there's only one J-Lo in Fort Wayne. If he can change, y'all can change. So, and that's what I want to do. I want to try to make an impact, much as I can, on speaking God's word.
And that's what's needed.
Absolutely.
And just real quick, J. Michael, we know, but not everybody that's a viewer know. If you can capitalize it, give us a nutshell version of what you're talking about, your most recent incident that people really are familiar with you about.
Oh, I was beefing with a Jamaican. We were doing street stuff. And one thing led to another. I got the bad end of the stick.
Bad end of the stick, meaning you're the person that got shot
Yes.
at the
Because of
store.
my reputation, because of my ego. My ego got me shot because I could have easily walked away, but my ego, my hood reputation, because I wanted to hold up to my name.
Right.
I am J-Lo, so you ain't gonna punk me. I do the punking. That's what got me shot.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Pride comes before destruction.
Right.
Wow. Man, thank you for
And it wasn't
sharing.
even, I won't even say it was the pride.
Yes.
And when you in the hood and you have a certain level, you want to try to keep that level. And it wasn't the pride, it was the level of the respect I had. And when you have a level of respect, you don't want to lose that level of respect. And sometimes it costs you your freedom or costs you your life. And this time it almost cost me my life.
Wow.
Well, we're glad that you're here today.
I'm so glad
So
you
as
made it
you said
through
in
that
your
storm.
plans, you gotta go out and speak that word and tell people that there's a different way. And the best thing to do is to show people. As you say, we can tell people anything, but if we really want to make a difference, we have to show people something different. So, hey, keep doing what you're doing, brother. Just show them a different way.
Mike might know better.
Wow. This has been a really, really, really good Voice of the People segment, and I just appreciate having our guests in the building.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you guys. We applaud you for your transparency and you just just being real, keeping it real, because that's what we're about. So just bringing awareness to the community on relevant topics and having good conversations. So I wanna leave you guys with this. So this is dedicated. I know you said something about Dr. King, but this quote comes from Dr. King, and it says, "The use of violence in our struggle would be both impractical and immoral. To meet the hate with retaliatory hate would be nothing but intensity, would do nothing but intensify the existence of evil in the universe. Hate begets hate, violence begets violence, toughness begets a greater toughness. We must